Hi, this is Lucid. The slideshow playing on the laptop are just some of the most incredible facts about YouTube and how it's grown from its early days. But it's not just YouTube itself, but how YouTube videos are used in social media. That's also just incredible. But it's a clear indicator how we use video from whatever source, be it your mobile, be it from gaming, or be it from just capturing from a camera for a special occasion, is actually being used to communicate not just personally, but to a global audience. Early videos were just uploaded as is, but these days we want to be more polished and refined because of the large audience. That being the case, what video editor is the right video editor for broadcasting over the web? And that was a question I asked when I first went into this, trying to start off my new business. So this became a two-part video. The first part, the perils of selecting a video editor, were the perils that I suffered, and I believe many more will suffer, if you don't go into this a bit blind. Before I delve into video editors, I first need to baseline on certain terms. And the first one is about the source. Now there's the selfie source, which is a person who likes to take videos, or it could be capturing a funny moment, using it for social media, that event, a company event or whatever, or it could be for that special occasion. And then there's another one, which is jungle journalism, which is where people outside take pictures or capture content and upload breaking news. So that covers the selfie. Now we have the serious video editor. Now the serious video editor comes in various classes. There's the ones used for marketing of their business. Another could be a professional who is used to edit the movies, big movies that we see in the cinemas, or just in the entertainment business itself. Selfies and serious video editors you can easily associate with, but YouTube is more about mediapreneurs now. It's a growing market. Now mediapreneurs are people who are not professionals, but they are serious and they want to make money from their content. Now you could be a gamer who wants to do walkthroughs, or you could be a person who wants to teach people about how to do video editing or photography or music. There are so many channels on YouTube. You can see how people want to be mediapreneurial about their content. So that's the end of my baselining of the types of video editors there are out there. Now I'm going to talk about the perils, and it's my story and how I want to be a mediapreneur and what went wrong for me. So I started with an idea and I needed a video editor. And I did what probably most people do. I Googled and I came across this very polished video. It's from Top 10 Reviews, and the presenter, Rich Bonadici, does a very good job in going over the video editors. Now I was a novice at the time. I didn't even know what video editors were out there, so this was a very good source of finding what was out there. And he had this killer punchline.
I'm Rich Bonadici for Top 10 Reviews, where we do the research so you don't have to.
Combine that and the way they rated the videos, I formulated a plan. The plan is a no-brainer. The number one video editor was PowerDirector from Cyberlink, so I was going to download that and I was going to do a two-stage test. The first was to import an MPEG-4 file and ask the question, did it import the files that I am making? If it did not, well then I was going to basically uninstall it and move to the next one in their list. But of course, I was expecting it to pass, and therefore I was going to do the second test, which is the export. Now if it could export an MPEG-4 file, then I was sorted. I got the import and export job done, and buy PowerDirector and start my mediapreneurial plans. So how did all this go? Well, the plan was good, or so I thought. Here is the installation of PowerDirector, and the first thing I noticed, there were 4 workspaces. Now of the 4 workspaces, 2 were of no interest whatsoever in this test. Capture and create disk are not of interest, but import, that was edit, and export is produce. So that clears what I'm going to do. Now I started the testing. The first thing to do is to clear the sample project and load my own files. When I saw this scene detection, I thought, wait a minute, if it could actually do this, it must be able to analyze an MPEG-4 file. If it can analyze an MPEG-4 file, then the import job is done and sorted just by hitting that scene detection. Well, that's the theory. So, of course, being an engineer, I was going to try it out. and I was in a really good happy place because everything's going according to plan. So I eagerly moved on to the second phase of my test, which is to produce or export. Now export had a few options. To make a file you have to use the standard, and you have these file formats, and as I said before, I'm doing MPEG-4, which is common on the web. So I was a bit puzzled when I saw PAL when it should have been NTSC, and the resolution was all wrong. Now I wasn't panicking much at all. I thought, hey ho, right, yeah, I can, it had scene detection, not a problem, let's move on. I wasn't expecting this. This really did not go down too well, especially when it was blaming either my machine or QuickTime. And I thought, what has that got to do with this video editor? Now, I wasn't quite lynch mob, but I wasn't in the happy place at all. When you have a situation like this, and it's a bit of a letdown, it goes down well as a fart in a spacesuit, you really need to start thinking about what it is you want to do. Now the first option is of course go to technical support, which of course can be quite an interesting process. Now you've got various dudes that you can end up with. There'd be the one that sort of quotes all the contractual things that you never really bothered about when you're doing a trial version. Then you have the mad dude, which you wish you could not have picked as person whatsoever. Then there's the person that you tend to want to creep down the telephone line and throttle. And there's that annoying, joyful person who seems to try to sympathize with your grief but offer absolutely no solution whatsoever. So that can cover your technical support experience, and that does cover mine. You could end up being like this, completely and utterly deflated that anything went wrong, or deflated after talking to technical support and decided to can the job. Now I'm not going to go into that too much because that's far too depressing. You could have the friend support, which could turn out to be worse than actually calling on technical support, because you could have that friend that likes to tell everyone in your circle that you are a right plonker going into this, moving away from your current skill. Or you could have the friend that is very good and very supportive but knows absolutely nothing about the subject matter, so is not going to help you much. In my case, I've always liked to work the problem to understand what went wrong, and that's the engineer in me creeping out. So I needed to go and revisit the top 10 review and find out what went wrong. So here is the site, and these are the tests that they do, and when you combine them you have this overall rating which they present in a bar chart, and from the bar chart they've hived out the number one. So I need to look at these tests, and I'll need to start off with ease of use. Moving to the ease of use, I noticed it's not really a test, it's more of a test module, which I think is a very good idea. So these are the tests that make the test module, and PowerDirector had this flawless mark. Now I might at a push from an engineering point of view agree with some of this, but not wholeheartedly, and this area definitely not, because it really depends on the PowerDirector you get. But the question I had was, where is the export test? Seriously, if you've got the import, where is the export? So I thought this test was not complete. Then I thought maybe it's because they used sharing for export, which is used. When I looked at it, it literally was. It flummoxed me, and I did think this. And the reason why is I'll expand out. Here is Dailymotion, 14% of the votes, and a lot of video editors got penalized because they didn't do that, which is not in my requirements. But all of these require you to export to a standard. For example, DVD and Blu-ray is MPEG-2, but you may not want to do this, and so in total there's 42% gone on an editor that you might not want to do. Now YouTube is what I want to do, but I doubt very much they actually looked at these tips and did this area at all as part of their test. It was more probably in logging into your account and uploading. But did they test to see what size of file you could upload to before it crapped out? So to me, this as a test to grade a video editor is not very solid for me or my requirements. So I thought I'll look at the test of the video editor, or the editing aspect of the video editor, and I saw this. Now I was in two minds because I bounced around a bit. Let's look at Audio Mixer. Now PowerDirector has a tick, but if you go to their website, it's PowerDirector the Ultra or the Ultimate Suite that actually has the tool to do audio. But the one they show on the website is this one, and this is the cost-effective one, and it has a very primitive audio capability. So I was always in this I like, I dislike, I agree, I disagree, and then I started feeling like this.
This is a test of the emergency moron system. Had there been a real moron in the room, you would have seen a small mushroom cloud where the idiot had been standing.
Now I felt like this because I should have known better. Even when I went to their professional site expecting more professional sort of review, I saw the same format. Now this is not shaking the head at top 10 reviews, but more at me because I should have known better. Here, top 10 reviews are not hiding anything. You go to these hyperlinks and they give you their definition. But what they don't tell you is exactly how they get that tick. What is the test? What's the criteria? What are the constraints? All these sort of things which I should have known and should go by, I didn't do. In fact, what this was really saying was I went here without my own set of requirements and just was totally influenced by the requirements of the top 10 review. So I went and made my own requirements. Now I want to do things in the web broadcasting. So what do I mean by this? Well, the animations you're seeing, the cloud represents YouTube or Twitch, your website, social media site. It doesn't matter, but that is where you have your content and you want consumers to stream your content to their device, whatever their device is. And you want it to be done smoothly and not with this, the buffer break. Now many would say, oh, you haven't got broadband. But that's not strictly true. Other things can actually cause this buffer break, and they generally form around the rendered product. That product might not have made a stream format container, or the HRD test was not done. Now a HRD test is quite important. The way to see this is you will never publish a document, a Word document, without someone proofreading. Proofreading in terms of video editing is HRD. So was it proofread to see if it can be played? That done, those are the standards. Now what are my editors, or where they're going to come from, apart from top 10 reviews? I found this on Wikipedia. This is the list of all the NLEs, which is non-linear editors, and I took all the Windows versions from this list. So now that I've got all my video editors, what I need to do is the acid test to see if the video editor is man enough for the job. Now my acid test is what I call a game anime. Now a game anime is when you take all the cinematic scenes from a very good video game, a little bit of gameplay, put it all together to a story, and you've got an animation. Now Mass Effect encourages you to create your own story. So this was a brilliant way of putting together a hard, solid test for a video editor. The test is make the game anime Mass Effect, and the rendered product must conform to those standards that you saw. And that concludes this section of the video, the perils of picking a video editor. And the peril is just by going some top 10 review or some marketing blurb or visiting a site or Googling it is not enough. You must have your own requirements, and you also must be able to ask the question, what makes a tick? Now I did these tests. I tested 17 video editors. If you're interested to find out which video editor is good for web broadcasting, then you may want to watch the next video, which is Cripes, which video, the best video editor for web broadcasting. Now that does give you a good insight, and you could be a professional, and even if you are, you're going to find that a lot of these video editors may not be what you think it is. They might be great editors, but do they make the product you want if you want to become a mediapreneur? This is Lucid signing out. Hope you enjoyed the video.